everyone, Jamie Makes here from Miss Paper, and today I'm sharing a process video of two 6x8 layouts I created using the Currently seals from Everyday Explorers.
So I'm planning to use the Currently seals stamp set that's available in the January release to document what I'm currently listening to and what I'm currently watching. I love just the sentiment of currently and keeping track of different things that way. So what I thought I would do was pull the podcasts and the audiobooks that I've been listening to, the covers of them, printed them out tiny. I think these are just 1.5 by 1.5 inches. And I did my journaling already on the computer, just on plain cardstock. And then I've adhered them to the back, and so they'll just be like a little cabinet door kind of opening up on the layout. And then I'm also keeping track of what I watched in the month of December. So random Christmas stuff, new movies that have come out, some older stuff, drag race themed shows, rewatching Bridgerton, and I'm planning to use this stamp set just to denote that these are for December. I also printed out this little in entertainment strip that I printed alongside my journaling, and I'm planning to use just some kind of navy colored ink and this pattern paper. It's an older one from Studio Calico that I'm going to cut down because this is going in my 6x8 album for 2021. Let's get started.
So the first thing I did was finish making my little booklets here. All I did was fold the journaling strips in half and then adhere the images of either the movie or the audiobook on top, and that's how I made my little booklets, I guess you could call them. I cut my paper down to 6 inches by I think 8.15. They're a little bit taller than 8 inches, just because I know that the page protectors tend to be a little bit taller than 8 inches. So I figured I could fill them in a little bit more. And then once I was done trimming the paper down, I had to hide the branding strip. I really liked that the turquoise stripes at the bottom there, but it said the manufacturer's name or the designer's name down there. So I just covered it up with the In Entertainment strip that I printed. I did this in InDesign and printed it alongside my journaling. And then I stamped December over it in navy ink. I'm adding the what I listen to section on the left-hand side of the page, and I originally adhered them directly onto the background, but it just felt like they were floating in space. So I wanted to do some anchoring, and I found this sheet of scrap cardstock in my scrap bin. It's just a light blue color. I was going to round the edge, but since the background is full of diamonds, which have a really hard edge, I decided not to round the corners on this little sheet of cardstock. Instead, I just folded it over, and I think that that works so much better. And then I'm adding my photos directly over top of that using a T-ruler to make sure that they're lined up correctly. So that little scrap of paper isn't enough to fill the entire 6 inches wide of my of the second page of the 6x8 layout, but I'm still planning to use it. So for my embellishments, I used the Currently seals, and I'm just stamping them on white cardstock, and I'm planning to trim them out and cut and place them around on my layout. I'm adding like a secondary title, I guess you could say. It's also from the Currently Seals stamp set and says Here and Now, and I added that to the bottom left corner of that blue cardstock. And now I'm going about the process of embellishing the left-hand side of this 12 by 8 inch double page layout. I cut these using some Cutter Bee scissors from EK Success. They're really old. I mean, they're decades old probably. And I really love that they still have a really fine tip. I've never found another pair of scissors that works quite as well, so they stick around. Originally, I think that I'm going to put this blue cardstock on the left-hand side of my page, but you'll see that I move it to the right-hand side of my page, and I think it works better just as I'm mounting It works better when I am embellishing the page later on, just because it becomes an anchor point for some of the stamps that I cut out and plan to add along the top of the blue cardstock. Committing finally and sticking these down with just some roller adhesive, and so I place this cardstock on the right hand side of my layout, use my T-square to again make sure just that my little photos are lined up and not kind of wonky. It's already a little bit wonky because they open up so that you can read the journaling. And so I didn't want to further confuse it by, not putting it on straight. So normally I eyeball things, but for whatever reason, when I was putting this one together, I thought it'd be good to use my T-square just to make sure that I'm placing everything straight onto the layout, and that I'm doing a good job of keeping a consistent border around each of these tiny little posters for either the TV shows that I was watching or the movies that I was watching. All of it was watched at home, but all of it was watched at home, but it's a combo of films and television shows. And so I like this line of embellishments that is running across the top of the cardstock. And then I'm grabbing some extra embellishments to add. I mean, really tiny things. I have star stickers. I mean, the kind that a teacher would use in her classroom. They're not even anything fancy scrapbooking wise. I'm also adding some enamel dots, some bright kind of reddish pink ones that I think go well with the colors from the posters. I'm adding them in just a few places around the layout. There's really 3 embellishment clusters. So down at the bottom, where it says entertainment, up at the top on the left side, and up at the top on the right side of the blue cardstock. And then for additional texture, I'm adding some puffy stickers. These are puffy octagons, septagons, hexagons. I think they were hexagons. And then the finishing touch I add is just some black ink splatters just to fill in the space a little bit and add more texture. And then once I am done with that, I off screen type up my journaling and consider this page done. And here are the finished pages. I posted still images over on Instagram at Misc Paper. That's MISC Paper. For info on the product I use, check out the links in the description box on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please be sure to like it and or subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you. Jamie Makes, signing off.